Here, William, I'm gonna give you a link to my Tinkercad.
Okay. So
Here.
some of our inspirations for this were based on more objects that could help, like Tarin's idea was stuff like rain barrels that can catch falling rainwater instead of just seeping straight into sewers. We can reuse that water for maybe like planting, maybe just repurposing in a new way. We also had the idea of bioswale that can also absorb water. And for me, I had an idea of like semi-permeable concrete and stuff like pavement that's more like pebbles, so water can just seep through. So our inspirations were more water-based, trying to find a better use of how we can reuse the falling water that just kind of seeps and just kind of floods places or goes into the sewers and back into the Gowanus Canal.
So in this design, it's kind of color coded and also kind of not color coded, but the red area is the parking lot for the high school, so we couldn't really edit that. But we really noticed that in the mornings, a lot of kids will just like line up against that wall right there. Well, it's a fence. We were thinking of converting it into an algae wall, but a lot of kids will just line up on it on their phones. So we were thinking of putting benches for them to sit under a roof. So if it was raining, they could still sit outside and they could sit down while they're on their phones because some of their postures are hard for their phones. And so that's why we have a bunch of benches. We also decided to add some tree pits, but in this design, we just realized it like 20 minutes ago. The benches are against the street, which doesn't allow any room for cars. So we have to actually switch them over to the other side and get rid of the one in the middle. But wait, William, is the other one a better angle for the?
Yeah, I can try that.
Yeah. Okay, so the light blue part is a rain barrel, and the gray street is supposed to be semi-permeable concrete. It should allow water through into collection, which can be used for repurposing, or it can just be released into the sewers at a later date, preferably not during a rainstorm to try to prevent CSOs. And so, yeah, this design's really about water conservation and repurposing. And using the limited space of the entrance, we managed to turn basically all the space we had available to edit into space that would store water. So, William, you want to talk about the numbers in the 2D design?
Yes. So we also have a 2D design based on, let me just pull it up fully. So it's more based on exact measurements of where things are going to be. Here, the plant benches and tree pits are against the fence. It's just smaller to better fit the actual sizing. So like the red is a slanted roof that would lead to like a gutter or tube that would carry it into several rain barrels for the repurposing of water, as well as like Tarin said, we would have permeable concrete. We would have a 10-foot sidewalk with, hold on.
Well, basically, the sidewalk is 15 feet, right? And so we said we would use no more than 5 feet of it, so people could walk past uninterrupted. We wanted pedestrians to have the best experience walking past our school. We didn't want to bother them or anything.
So with only 1/4-inch pavement gaps to allow the water to go through. And yeah, it's mostly just the design to, like Tarin said, it's mostly a design, like Tarin said, just to conserve water as well as keeping with our limited amount of space. Well, we do have like a little description of what we were gonna do. Some of it might be a little outdated because we constantly keep editing it to better fit the qualifications of the project. But like we were saying, we can have planter benches, tree pits, permeable concrete, rain barrels, stuff like that, all just to help with the conservation of rainwater or just any water that may happen to find its way down to the entrance of our school.
Fantastic. I thought it was great. I can't understand how well you've taken to Tinkercad, all of you. I think it's amazing. Really, really good stuff. And now let's go to Michaela, please.
Amazing job. I'm totally blown away by all of these presentations. And for this one specifically, I really loved how you were focused on water capture and reuse. I thought that was super creative and took into account the constraints of the space. And I also really loved how you observed people's behaviors. So students lining up outside of the school in the morning and really built around that. I thought that was super compelling. I am curious, given that you are a team, did you sort of have a shared vision to begin with, or were there sort of points where you were disagreeing about what you thought would be a good design for this space?
Well, we both had the idea of water capture. I was kind of focusing more on storage. Well, he was doing semi-permeable pavement, but I think we basically just we both did bubble diagrams of the courtyard, and then we decided to switch to the front entrance because we thought it was a better location to use our ideas. So we basically had no plan when we were starting out as a group because we had to switch locations. So we took the water conservation idea and we built around it. And I think it turned out pretty well.
Fantastic. Wonderful. And Brandon, can you
Sure. So, can you guys hear me? All right. So I really like the use of technology. Like, I'm really impressed with how you used Tinkercad and did the modeling, because I personally like 3D modeling in Rhino, and you guys doing this at your age is impressive. I like the idea of the permeable pavement. You consider pedestrian movement, and it's like you did a really good job thinking about everything. And it's like I'm kind of jealous. Like I didn't get this opportunity, and you guys have it, and you're just a really good job on this. Really impressive visuals, and you put dimensions, everything. It's really good, full plan and full design.